Farm Kenya, brought to you by Fugo.
Maziwa kwa wingi, ni kama mvua. Maziwa kwa wingi, utashiba.
Akishiba, utashiba. Fugo Calf Starter Pellets, Calf Grow Pencils, Heifer Grow, Dairy Milk Plus, and Maxi Milk Plus. Products of Unga Farm Care.
Akishiba, utashiba. Utashiba.
Profite na ng'ombe wako.
Unalima ardhi, mlango wa kulima, kuwa mshindi, kuwa na uhakika sasa, kulea mustakabali wa baadaye. Tufanye kazi pamoja na tukue pamoja, kuimarisha Kenya ni jukumu la Farm Kenya.
Today, here, as usual, we are supposed to bring you up to speed on matters making headlines in the field of agriculture and, of course, give you information that you can use across the different value chains to enable you put that much more money in your pocket. Now, today, we have a special topic lined up. We want to talk about one thing that is used as a vegetable, a thing that's used as a condiment, a thing that goes into many, many, many different meals in many, many different ways. We are talking about capsicum, or as many people like to call it, pilipili hoho or hoho. We have an expert in that crop with us in studio. He's an expert in the growing, in the production, in the value chain, maybe even the consumption, but he will speak into that. Of course, in studio with us, Itahi Kimani. Karibu sana.
Asante.
Now, when it comes to the discussion around the capsicum, why should we consider you an expert? What is setting you apart?
Okay, what I can say, it's the perspective of and the way you take that farming aspect to make you a certain expert for a certain thing.
So you specialize in capsicum?
Yes, not really capsicum, but basically I'm a majorly horticultures. In horticulture you tend to find different varieties of products, and then you measure, and then you categorize on different products.
So is it then right to say that you either guided by what happens in the market to guide you with whatever crop that you're planting, or where the demand is at that particular time?
It's the market aspect and the farming aspect that guides person of the farmer to know the exact thing, the exact way to do.
Okay, fine. Let's get into it then. Talk to us about capsicum, why it's a good crop, and what many people should be noticing about it now.
Okay, about capsicum. Capsicum is a fruit.
Okay, so it is a fruit.
Yeah.
Not a vegetable.
Capsicum is a fruit.
Interesting.
It's a fruit. And it belongs to a family called Solanus family. Solanus family, it's like kina pilipili, kina manago. So
pilipili is also a fruit.
Yeah, pilipili is also a fruit.
Okay.
Yes, but basically we tend to see it as a vegetable.
Yes.
And on capsicum we have some people call them bell.
Yes, bell peppers.
Bell peppers. But locally we do them pilipili hoho.
Yes.
But we have different varieties of capsicum.
Different colors.
Different colors.
Yes.
We have the green one, the red one, and the yellow one.
Sasa ngoja. I thought it is the green one which turns color and becomes yellow and then red. So you're saying that they're actually different?
You're correct. First, you're correct.
Okay.
The yellow and the red starts being green.
They start off as green?
Yes. Whatever makes the yellow and the red capsicum to turn, one, it's depend on the pollinators.
Okay.
And missing by pollinators, it's where we farm. Being open field and indoors field. That's greenhouse and open field.
Okay.
So basically, there's pure varieties of red and yellow capsicums. When you plant the capsicum, if it's pure red and pure yellow, it will eventually mature as yellow and
Or
red.
yes.
But if you plant a pure green
Yes.
capsicum, it will eventually be a green capsicum.
Also, in the end, the green capsicums don't turn any other color.
Yeah, unless
They
it's
mature and still
overgrown.
green. Yes.
But if it's overgrown, that's why I said the color depends on the pollinators. Because the pollinators tend to interfere with the pollen.
So the pureness.
The pureness.
Yes. So if there is no contamination, the green will stay green.
Yes.
If there is no contamination, the red will stay red eventually.
Yes.
And the yellow will stay yellow.
Yes.
So if I buy and plant the green one,
Yeah.
and then wait, it will never turn yellow or red. Usually.
Usually.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah. But also the green one might tend to, depending on the ecological
Yes.
zones, it to have some different
Coloration.
colors, maybe colorations here and there, depending on the climate. Yes.
Okay, interesting. Let's now go back to the beginning. So we've established that this thing is a fruit.
Yeah.
We know that they are seeds. So what do we plant cuttings? Do we plant the fruit? Do we plant seeds? Do we plant leaves? Talk to us about the genesis, where this plant starts, how you get it into the ground, and then the husbandry that you walk through until this thing sasa mature for market.
Okay. So having decided to do capsicum farming.
Hata ngoja, let's go even further. How do you decide what to do and that you want to grow capsicum?
Exactly.
Yes.
So you come in conclusion that now I will want to do capsicum.
Yes.
First, not even the market. Tend to find what is necessary. Have some a bit of knowledge about capsicum. Don't just do just a other thing. Have a bit of knowledge of capsicum, and then have a market way for your end product. And then come decide where now.
So find the market first.
Yes.
Then figure out what you require in terms of areas, space, ecological zone.
Yes, and also find the good seed propagators. Because you can tend to do locally, and then you end up being disappointed.
So finding good seeds essentially means finding certified seed.
Yes. Through the cafes,
Yeah.
they usually provide, and the companies, they usually provide certified seeds. There's open variety seeds, that's they call OPV, and there's hybrid, they call them F1s. I would encourage for F1s. F1s because they kind of are resistant to diseases, soil-borne pests, and the quality and the quantity usually high.
So productivity is high, but it's on is a injab and is a greenhouse.
Both.
So you can do
F1, you can do indoors
or
and
outdoors.
Yeah.
So what determines whether you're going to do indoors or outdoors? Is it productivity? Is it mfuko, as they say, or a preference, or a ecological zone?
Nowadays people are doing smart farming.
Yes.
And capsicum doesn't need that much area unless you're doing commercially.
Yes.
But nowadays people are doing even capsicum even in kitchen gardens. But for you to determine the way to do your capsicum, either indoor or outdoor, one depends on the ecological zones.
Yes.
Because nowadays the temperatures, the seasons, they may change. So you may tend to have, but there is these varieties that do better indoors, and others do better outdoors.
Yes.
There are some factors that you may consider while setting up your way of doing it. One, you may consider economizing on cost production. Also, the market, your end product, kwenye unaipeleka.
So the market will determine the price.
Yes.
Which will determine the amount of money you can put in.
Yes.
Which then means you have to work to make it as affordable as possible.
Yes. And maybe you may have some resources to sustain you, do the indoors.
Yes.
And also, basically, mkulima analimanga na akili.
Yes.
What is in your mind, it's what now you're putting on the ground.
To the ground, yes.
So maybe I'm a new beginner of capsicum.
Yes.
I tend to start with maybe some small amount, maybe let me try. But if you're doing a commercial farming of capsicum, you would rather do a wide range of farmer rather than a small portion. Because if it's ukipata ile bei poa and then ulikomelima ka portion kadogo, you tend to find like, okay, I better ningekuwa nimefanya a bigger
one of the things that other people have said before in this space is that when you're doing for market, you make sure uko kwa soko kila wakati, so that consistently you have product for the market, so that even if the price is up or the price is down, you do shilling cost, what do they call it, averaging over the year.
One thing people fail because of lack of consistency.
Yes,
because market this capsicum huwezi toshelesha.
So the demand is there,
the demand is high. So I usually advise farmers, if they have a product that it's already on market, have another one that's in a month it will be on market. Have another one that it's now almost
a month behind that.
Because with that you'll be well conversant with the market, because as days goes by you will even tend to open new markets, so you will always be on market,
and the market gets used to the fact that uko nayo
and you are satisfying the market, so you're gonna even be reliable to your clients.
So when I go to for example the market or mama mboga or a supermarket, I see capsicum, zingine ni kubwa, they are healthy, others are really tiny, small, they look injured and those sorts of things. So what determines quality? How do some get to the market looking so nice yet others are just looking obvious?
End product determines on one, I said, how you laced your crop. Management determines the quality.
So how do you ensure that you manage well?
One, maybe you can get back from the drawing board. You started from the quality seed. So having a quality seed determines a quality and a product and a quantity. From how you will plant, what you will use, how you will manage it, and then eventually in 2 months after planting, you're gonna see the quality, you're gonna see the quantity.
How long does it take from planting to harvest? 3 months, 90 days?
The funds basically takes from 60 days to 70 days.
So within 60 days,
you
will start to see, like you're saying, the product.
And when the size market, the farmer determines the size of the market, because maybe there's some farmers who do contract farming, and then in the contract there's some note to we need such kind of size.
We want 6 centimeters across.
We need we don't want malformed capsicum. We need a certain shape, we need this color, because the also the color determines the market.
The cost,
there is some who need the pure dark green ama light green, the pure yellow ama yenye iko na some patches.
Wanataka kurembesha mboga.
Unataka ni half green, half red, half or whatever that way. So the farmer first determines the size, and also the market determines the size. From 60 days, that fruit that capsicum, it's already formed, ready to consume. If it's a local market, you tend to find most of the local people hawapendi hiyo kubwa sana. Wanapenda ako ka size kadogo because gonna consume it once. But if ni kama maybe the groceries, supermarkets, big hotels, need that big one. So if my end product, I need it to be.
If your market is demanding that size.
I'm gonna wait to that point.
So you can pluck them earlier when they're smaller? Or later when they're bigger? Okay. So then we are at the market. Some are yellow, some are green, some are red. What is the difference? Why are they different colors? What is important about the colors, and why even bother having the different ones?
Basically, we tend to classify them as one basket. Because capsicum are rich in one, iron.
Yes.
Pregnant ladies are encouraged to take. They are rich in vitamin C and vitamin A. But not the taste. They have a taste that unaifilinge kwa mdomo like a pepper. As pia it's inaendelea kugrow. Kakiwa kadogo juu that ka taste iko so yeah. So as it's inaendelea kugrow, inaenda ikitupa hako ka taste. But also people tend to use it as a kurembesha pia chakula.
So when it's younger, tastier.
Yeah, it's tastier.
When it's older, less tastier.
Yeah, tastier. Yeah, because it will be now turgid. It will sasa itaanza kutupa ethylene in it.
Yes.
So pia the taste inapotea. So it's better consumed flesh.
Yes.
And but basically people tend to use them, especially now the red and the yellow ones as a spicing and making dishes meal.
So the color does not necessarily mean that there'll be more nutrition in something. Maybe just antioxidants.
Not really. Yeah, not really.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
So then one of the major challenges that farmers face is perishability. Na panda hii kitu 60 days zimejaa kwa shamba, soko zimejaa pia, and now you're wondering what do I do?
Yeah, well, it's a result of non-consistency.
Yes.
Because if you flood the products in the market, now everybody is doing
the same thing. Yes.
The same thing, the same time.
Yes.
And this one also it's a cause of lack of information. Like I will say, sometimes I call it ignorance.
Yes.
Because nipitia kwa neighbor yangu naona anafanya hoho.
Yes, unasema
hata mimi nafanya.
Yes, zitaingia kwa shimo leo.
Yes, mwingine anafanya. So we'll end up even the local thing.
Yes.
And that one flooding is so determines the price. Because if we flood, that means the price.
What about preservation? Because I've seen, like for example, we will go to supermarkets and we will buy paprika, and we're told this is capsicum, Spain or some other place where they have dried it, wakasiaga, mekwa kwa mkebe ikaletwa. How come we're not doing this thing with the technology?
Basically, we don't have much cold rooms for this horticulture. The produce we are doing from the farms, but and also maybe the storages, because what's it's normally done, it's if the farmer has the produce, he or she will harvest it direct to the market, where another person has harvested to take it to the market. So if I didn't store my product well, and also perishability becomes efficient on how you even list manage your crops. Because if you did a lot of chemicals, if you did a lot of unnecessary things, it will also determine that perishability to the market. Because you may tend to have some capsicum last for about a week without you noticing that ilichuna last week. But zingine unaenda ilichuna jana, and the day after tomorrow you personally you can't even consume it.
Wanasemanga ya chemical kwanza ndio inakaa. But anyway, food for thought.
That's food for thought. So it's that thing of storage that we lack, because if you tend to we can tend to take our produce from farm and know how to store it before even reach the market. Or also, this what the means we are using to transport. Maybe we using some cartons. Maybe inataka hiyo kitu inataka hewa. We don't use some crates within products to transport. So you tend to hiyo kitu ikona, and it's so capsicum, it's so fragile.
Yes, it breaks, it gets
it's injured. So fragile.
Yes.
So if you mess it with it, before it reaches the market. So the perishability there, because I don't think a fridge can store a rotten in product and you expect it
to stay and become okay.
And you will consume it as fresh as it was.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. So in which particular areas of Kenya does this thing do well? Do we have places we consider that the stronghold areas, huku ndio inatoka mingi, or is it a thing that can do well in many different places?
Capsicum can do well in most of the parts of our Kenya.
Yes.
Because as I said earlier, seasons have changed. So you tend to see the hot areas, the cold areas, capsicums are doing. And you tend to find the variety that will do better in hot areas, let's say Ukambani, Makueni, and they find uko Mlima.
Yes.
Wanafanya that thing and it's doing best. Also, pia determines on the soil, the types of soils, and the variety. Yeah.
So in some places, especially in the West, you'll find that they are doing capsicum a lot for salads.
Yeah.
And those sorts of things. Here, it goes mostly into stews.
Yeah.
And things like that.
Yeah.
How do we get Kenyans to start to get the real benefits of this thing? Is it better eaten raw, or better eaten cooked to death with ugali and nyama and the like? In your opinion?
Okay, in my opinion, nowadays people have a lot of even health issues.
Yes.
So I may tend to consume capsicum. If I consume capsicum as salad, it works well. Okay, I would encourage it to be consumed low.
Yes, but
raw for its beneficial.
So it is better when it is raw because it has the
vitamins. Yes. So, but if you consume it maybe in salad, so if it's steamed.
Yes.
So inatupa the minerals and whatever.
They get destroyed.
Yeah.
But also now when it comes to eating it raw, sasa tena kuna shida ya kuosha and the sort of thing where our fellows have challenges. So how do you ensure that you don't injure it, but you wash it and it comes out proper?
One, that's starts from the harvesting.
Yes.
How you harvest it will determine the quality of one. So you just have to pluck it, not before it where it is attached. So you don't have to kutoa koka kitu.
Yeah, so the stock.
Yeah, don't have
make sure it is intact.
Yeah, don't remove the stock.
So you cut it off from the tree.
Yeah.
With the stock.
Yeah.
Not leave the stock on the tree.
Yeah, yes. But a few inches from the fruit.
Okay.
Yeah. So from that one, you've guaranteed it's not injured. And then how you handle it, just place it in a well mannered basket, so that pia don't place them because they mingi. Zisikuwe mingi. Just have a basket can hold 10, let them be 10. Yeah.
Okay. So that is interesting. We have to go to a short commercial break. But when we come back, I want us to talk about what it takes for young people to get into farming capsicum. Of course, how much money they would stand to make based off a standard piece of land. I think we can start talking about maybe 50 by 100 or 1 acre, depending on what you think as the expert. But that, of course, is under the break. After the break. So for the viewers, please stay with us. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes.
You are watching Farm Kenya, brought to you by Fugo.
Leo wako wakishiba na Fugo, utashiba na mayai from Shell, Yellow York. Broiler wako wakishiba na Fugo, utaona mazao in 35 days.
Akishiba, utashiba. Fugo Layer Feed, Fugo Kienyeji Feed, and Broiler 2-stage and 3-stage diet. Products of Unga Farm Care.
We value your feedback and welcome your comments, queries, and complaints regarding our content. You can get in touch with us via SMS on 22151. Call 0719-012450 or 0719-012090 or email feedback@standardmedia.co.ke. Our PO Box number is 30080-00100, Nairobi, or deliver it to our offices at Standard Group Center, Mombasa Road, Nairobi.
Bwana ndiye mchungaji wangu, sitapungukiwa kitu. Hunilaza majani mabichi, huniongoza maji matulivu.
Jambo, kupata huu wimbo kama skiza, bonyeza *811 *798 hash. Kumbuka, KTN ndio home.
Drop your gun now! You just love picking on the weak, don't you? Face me instead. Just you and me!
We on, Abe! Come on!
Alexa!
Bombs! There's a bomb! The tower's gonna blow up! We need to leave!
Move it! Move it!
Pops! You have to blow up first.
This will be the end of Mila's vengeance! I'll kill them all!
When I have back pain, I reach for 2 tablets of Panadol Extra for fast relief of strong pain like headache, toothache, muscle pain, and I am finally released from pain. Try Panadol for fast and effective relief from strong pain. Now available at an affordable price.
Easter is a time of wholesome celebrations and remembrance of the resurrection of Jesus Christ. It is a time of joy and faith in Christ with family and friends. This Easter, share a message of your thoughts and warm wishes with family and friends on the Standard newspaper and on KTN TV. To book, SMS JC to 22151 now. Remember, SMS JC to 22151 to wish your family and friends a happy Easter on the Standard newspaper for only 950 shillings and celebrate together.
You are watching Farm Kenya, brought to you by Fugo.
Lea wako wakishiba na Fugo, utashiba na mayai from shell, yellow yolk. Broiler wako wakishiba na Fugo, utaona mazao in 35 days.
Akishiba, utashiba. Fugo Layer Feed, Fugo Kienyeji Feed, and Broiler 2-stage and 3-stage diet. Products of Unga Farm Kenya.
Kuwa mkono ambao unalima ardhi, mlango wa kulima, kuwa mshindi, kuwa na uhakika sasa, kulea mustakabali wa baadaye. Tufanye kazi pamoja na tukue pamoja, kuimarisha Kenya ni jukumu la Farm Kenya.
Thank you for staying with us here on Farm Kenya. My name is Peter Wakaba. On this second part of the show, we want to get into the best management practices aspects of this conversation around capsicum, as indicated before we went on the break. And as usual, our expert here in studio still here to talk to us and give us insights into what best practice constitutes. And to remind you that we are looking at 2 different aspects of capsicum. That, of course, First is the outdoor aspect, where you're growing this in the field, interacting with nature, and also growing within a greenhouse where, of course, the environment is much more protected. Again, karibu sana.
Thank you.
Let's go to the beginning. Let's talk about best practices in terms of starting off at the seeds, planting this thing in seed beds, I suppose, and then getting it into the ground.
Okay.
Take us through that from the beginning.
We said they are propagated through seed.
Yes.
But I prefer, and I would urge farmers to use seedlings. Start from the seedling. Go for the right propagator. Choose the right seed, the right seedling.
So does that mean that you, rather than going to the agrovet or some place to buy your seeds,
you can go that way?
Or you can
go that way.
Yes.
Go to the agrovet. Pick the right seed.
Yes.
Take it to the propagator.
So there are now people called propagators who specialize in getting these things to germinate in the seedling.
Propagators are simply seed raisers. Seed raiser. Them being seed raisers, they ensure they give you 100% of your seed and the quality of your seed.
The viability.
Yes, because they will have some factors to consider for you to have that seedling. Yeah.
Are they commonly available? Sasa watatoka wapi? For example, I live in Kiambu. Are there seed propagators? If I live in Kitengela,
they are just next door.
So how do we go about finding out who the seed propagators are?
One, you have to, that's why you had said you need to have some information.
So you do your research.
You do your research, because you can't source a capsicum seedling from here.
Yes.
Yet you want to do the capsicum seedling at Nyanza.
Yes, in Kisumu.
In Kisumu.
Yes.
And in Kisumu, there's that one propagator who gonna do that for you. So
find a propagator as close as possible to where you want to plant.
Yes. So you having that seedling, a well-raised seedling, that ensures fast growth, one. And from there, you just take it direct to planting. So you don't need a nursery to raise the seeds. You only need to access your seedlings to take them to the shamba.
For those who are still skeptical and are saying, itapanda yangu, what is the difference between you doing your own seed bed and getting a proper propagator?
One, it's cost and also the viability of the seed. I maybe do my own propagation, and the seed may tend to, I have to consider some factors. Maybe it's leaning, maybe how I'm gonna do it. It's gonna be harbored with the pest. It's gonna be harbored with the low viability aspect. It's gonna be harbored with a lot of factors. So it's a bit costly because you're gonna waste almost a month and a half for that seed to germinate for you to take it to the farm. But using the seed from the propagator, it's now you have like the production, it's already counting, because from 0 day to 60 days you're gonna have now the production. But you take in the nursery aspect, that means you're gonna add another 30 days, 45 days for you to have the production. So if your view was to front the market, to sustain the market.
Say for example a 50 by 100 piece of land, kwa sababu plot ndio mingi. Is that viable for a person looking at the commercial market? Do you shoot for half an acre, a quarter of an acre? And how many seedlings do you need for that space?
One, number of seedlings determines on way of planting. Because if I do the bed it's where you plant a raised one.
Kama
viazi.
Yes.
Maybe we do fallow and basin. So that determines the exact, maybe an acre can a kilo 1 gram of capsicum contain of course seeds contain 200 seeds.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay, that's
equivalent to 200 seeds.
Yes.
So if you weigh your way of planting, method of planting,
Yes.
you're gonna have the exact number of seeds that you need. Maybe for an acre, that's about 500 kgs, and
500 kilos.
Not 500 kilos.
Grams.
That's 500 grams.
kg.
That's half a kg.
Yes.
And
that is still a lot. At 200.
Yeah, it's still a lot.
That's what, about 10,000 seeds.
Yeah.
Yes.
And maybe for a 50 by 100, you can do maybe from 50 to 100 grams. That's gonna sustain you.
Okay.
Yes. Before planting, there's this aspect of soil testing.
Very important. So we are now back to the beginning.
Yeah,
to
back to
determine,
yes. Yes. I always encourage farmers to do soil testing because capsicum, as I said, it's so delicate, it's so fragile. If you do soil testing, it will guide you on what to use and what not to use.
Is soil testing expensive? Where can we find it?
Soil testing is not expensive because it determines, are we testing the macro or the micronutrients?
Even more complicated. So why are we testing in the first place? I know you've said that it will tell us what to use. Why is it important?
Importance of soil testing, as I said, it's to determine what to use and what not to use.
Sasa mtu kama mimi mkulima, I have free government fertilizer kwa nyumba. I don't even need testing. Nitaweka tu hiyo na itaenda. Will that approach work?
It may be.
Because you see, that's what most people are contending with, right?
Yeah.
Because they are looking at, I want to plant this thing. Nikifanya hii soil testing, itaniambia maneno mingi, and they'll say I need X. Hapa niko na hii free, hata kama ilikuwa imechanganyika kidogo. But yeah, so it's important to literally work on this thing as a business, and start from scratch and have the idea of what you need to invest in it.
Yeah, because if you do as you said, you may tend to incur some losses, and back in your mind,
blaming the government.
Yeah, exactly. And the importance of doing soil testing.
Yes.
There's this soil, we lace the seeds with the, as I said, macro and micronutrients. Macronutrients are NPK, nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. And the micronutrients are chilies, molybdenum, iron, sulfur.
Yes.
The rest.
For those who did chemistry.
Yes, the trace elements.
Yes.
And the macronutrients, the soil, as I said, the loamy soil, the clay soil, you doing the soil testing, it will determine the pH.
Yes.
The acidity.
Among other things.
Among other things. Because capsicum, the range that capsicum grows well, it's from 5.5 to 7.5. That's
so
the
fairly acidic.
Yes. Capsicum needs a slightly acidic soil. But if it's more acidic, it will gonna burn the root hairs. Immediately you plant.
Yes.
So that means if it burns.
If your soil is found then to be a bit acidic above that range,
yes,
then they might have you do things like liming and other things to bring down the pH.
Yeah.
Okay.
You may tend to incur some losses as you're growing your product. So you're doing this. Maybe if you do the soil testing.
Yes.
Maybe you may tend to find maybe my soil does not need nitrogen. My soil does not need phosphorus.
Yes.
And that's where maybe you start nitrogen and phosphorus. So you may do the Roko Kienyeji way, and you tend to incur some losses.
Yeah, because like I heard in the morning, people are being told about what they're calling it chanjo ya ng'ombe.
Yeah.
And they say, but this is tuko na dawa ya kienyeji.
Yes.
So essentially we are saying that the scientific business way to do this thing.
I encourage farmers to use the goat's manure.
So we're using both.
Yeah, we can do both the goats and the chicken.
Yes.
Or also well fermented manure from the cows that
so you compost it and you ferment or that you bring it. Yes.
Yeah, well fermented one. Because the root hairs are so small, so we need also a fine thing that can be easily absorbed by the plant. When the goat manure, it's rich in nitrogen and rich in phosphorus, same as the chicken manure.
Yes.
And it's highly advised to use both. And then you may tend to add a DAP, that's the ammonium phosphate fertilizer. If you incorporate them, then there you are good to go.
So, like for fruit trees and other things, unaambiwa unachimba shimo, then una mix manure na fertilizer, then unaweka your plant, and then you. Is that the same for this thing?
That's the same thing.
Is there a depth specific that you have to dig? Ama ni unaangalia vile kanatoshana hapa?
Yeah, angalia first know the size of the seedling. Because sometimes nasema it's inakuja ikiwa logic.
Yes.
And also this determines the depth determines pia the soil, the type of soil you're planting. So hiyo ni ile unaambia mkulima can't be the exact depth.
Tumia akili. Angalia.
It can't be the exact depth because if the considering it's small. I don't expect you to do a 2 inches. Like a 2 feet, a 2 feet hole. Just do a 1 feet.
So it will be determined by the size of the seedling.
Yeah, but basically we encourage the farmers to plant the same depth as it was from the
so will the fertilizer then be mixed in with the soil? Ama ni top layer? Ama
you have
tujafika?
You have your hole here. You have your manure here and your fertilizer.
And your seedling.
Eka bolea. Chukua fertilizer, eka. But first, after we incorporate, now make sure you water the hole.
So you put water, add water.
Yes.
Sasa inakuwa matope.
Yeah, that's an essential. Juu sasa you caution now the easy elements zenye ziko kwa fertilizer. Now you need to start working on this.
Them down.
Yeah, exactly. Break the seeds, they are particles.
Yes, so incorporating them into the soil.
Yes, so you need now to break down these elements. Now sasa iachilie.
Sasa kama ulipata hiyo fertilizer ingine, ngoja zincorporate zinakuangalia tu.
Yeah, because basically in the government what it does inakupea what the government wants, not what the farmer wants. Because I had people complaining unatumia the top dressing fertilizer planting. So you see already.
Yes, there's a problem there.
Yeah. So that's why I said the lack of information leads that. So we've planted, we have mixed the manure and the fertilizer, and now we are good to go now. And the next thing, immediately now of planting, it's now where they manage now the crop.
Yes.
Now tumeanza sasa mbio. The 0 day has gone down.
So you have finished planting, you've done all these things we've said. The thing is on the ground.
Yes.
So for 3 or 4 days you're observing, hoping imeshika.
Yes.
Do you do anything like, what do you say, mulching or one of those?
Yes.
Kainde.
From the planting day, now you start something called scouting.
Scouting.
You start something called scouting.
Yes.
And scouting means be now the friend of that seedling.
Yes.
Because at the end, I'm sure you're going to be happy for that.
But sasa, imagine, tumesema eka, 10,000. Sasa utakuwa marafiki ya zote?
Kabisa.
Yes.
Kabisa. And that's now where you incorporate the energy, the source, the manpower. You've got unatafuta sasa watu wa ground.
So you become a supervisor.
Yes. Now you become a supervisor. Yes. See, at the end unataka kuwa boss. Now start now being a supervisor. And at the end we're gonna be a boss.
One of the major challenges I've actually seen with this thing, and for me it's a continuous challenge that people bring up. Lack of skill at the grassroots. Because you would think that looking after crops is easy. Ni kuingia tu kwa shamba, kupalilia, kufanya. But it actually requires a bit of skill and requires a bit of knowledge and people to be delicate in the way they handle things. So how do you start to build this skill so you can actually become a real manager?
One, it's sourcing an agronomist or an expert in whatever you are doing.
Yes.
And with that, to that point of planting, he or she gonna guide you to do's and don'ts. So with that, it will be easy for you to raise the seedling or the crop. Because if you scout, and you see something is not really happening here, utampigia mwambie hey, nimeona inakaa hivi na hivi, tutafanya aje?
Imeanza kuinama.
Yes, so unaona now you are not struggling, but unatumia information from an expert, an agronomist, and you, by that you're gonna not fail, you're gonna succeed, because they have a lot of information on whatever you are doing.
Expertise, yes.
Yeah, and maybe you are a beginner, and kuna ile semanga mimi sitamuuliza, si nimeishi kulima hiki tu.
Na tena inamea tu.
Na si inamea, sinaona tu iko sawa. But unaona kuna kitu haiendi mzuri mahali, and then you gonna sema
so expertise is a given.
Yeah.
So we've scouted.
Yeah, we've scouted.
And we are working with experts.
Yes.
We are working with what we are ground.
Yeah.
Moving this thing along. What is next after scouting?
After scouting, it's doing the necessary thing. And by doing scouting, it's gonna reduce your cost of production.
Yes.
Because now what we are dealing with here, it's basically prevention.
Yes.
Not curing. So anything we see, if it's not affected, we're gonna prevent anything. Maybe pest, maybe disease, maybe fungal or whatever, we're gonna prevent it. So by scouting, if I tend to see a misbehave with the crop, I'm gonna act accordingly to that thing, and maitendelea tu kumea.
Okay, so that is good. So eventually your crops are you're going towards harvesting, and you talked about crates, you talked about handling, you talked about market. For me, the thing that I am now thinking about is the cost, because in all this you've mentioned the agronomist, the seed propagators, what were ground agronomist, all this requires cash. So if we were to standardize and say an acre, how much do you think it would cost to bring these things kutoka pale imeanza fallow ground to bring to market?
One, it also determines on the, but it also depend on the your market demand.
Yes.
For you to incur that mathematics.
Yes.
Maybe for an acre, for you to do like an acre, you don't really need much, because the much money that you need, it's to access the seedling. Maybe we can roughly working on because you also need some miscellaneous.
Yes.
With the 50 to 80,000.
You're comfortably able to say you're farming 1 acre.
Comfortably will do it. And because now what you also need, it also needs some pest and disease control equipment.
Yes. The sprays.
The sprays, the chemicals, and because that's where you're gonna also feel when you're doing the capsicum.
So along the way, after scouting and that sort of thing, and if you find that these things are needed, you spray.
You spray. And for you, it doesn't need much.
Yes.
If you follow the guidelines, you may tend to cut the cost a lot. Because if you tend to, like, when you transplant, that seedling usually has kitu tunaitanga shock ama stress.
Yes.
So if you transplant, just apply an optimizer or a stress manager. It basically it's a booster. It's a foliar that does not contain NPKs. So with that, you're already boosting.
Booster na sticker.
Yes, you're already boosting the crop. So from that, utapata kameanza kuwa healthy. So kama ni baridi kataka haitakuwa that affected. It will be gonna. And remember, we planted an F1 variety. So it's inaanza sasa unaiboost ikue resistance kabisa. Sasa kama ilikuwa 80%, pale percentage imeongezeka, it's going to 100.
Okay. There was the thing about after application of chemicals, waiting 2 weeks until to harvest, that sort of thing. So along the way, how many applications of chemicals do you think you might need? Of the different things. So tumesema to make your booster.
Yeah.
Along the way we start seeing kuna tumdudu tunakula hii kitu, so you spray that sort of thing. On average, how many times do you think we might need to spray things?
For you to do the first harvest.
With no infestations, but you're quite happy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Maybe the 3 to 5 sprays. But the sprays, it's determined.
Yes.
With how the crop is fairly. Because what it does,
yes,
when you plant, that's when you do the first spray, preventing the cutworms and the caterpillars. And then that you're gonna accompany the insecticide with the foliar. So now you're gonna scout it. Then the second spray, you're gonna do it after 2 weeks. And then that after 2 weeks, that means our plants, it's almost now flowering.
Yes.
Because now it's 1 month. And we said after from 2 months.
Yes, 60 days.
60 days we're going to harvest. So now the second phase, we're going to apply the same thing.
Yes.
The booster, the NPK boosters, with maybe another insecticide, and wait for another 2 weeks to spray all 7. But also, that's why I said the spray, it's determined, because if it's infested.
Well understood.
Yes.
Sasa, because we need to close.
Yeah.
We are almost out of time.
Yeah.
Briefly, that 1 acre, how much will it give you on average kosoko? Because now that's the thing most people will use to weigh vis-a-vis the 50 to 80,000 that we talked about.
Yeah. An acre will do from 5 to 10 tons. And capsicum, it's a product that you can harvest for almost 9 months. Continuous. Yes. So from 10 tons.
Yes.
So the production gonna maintain up to maybe the 4th of the 5th month, and then start declining. So with that 1 acre,
yes,
it's gonna give you good sale and good produces.
Okay, so we can't really put a number on it, but it's determined by the market.
Yeah, also plus the management.
Yes. Okay, fine. Anyway, good enough. So unfortunately we are out of time, but thank you very much, sir, for taking the time to talk to us. Really interesting conversation. Who knew that the humble capsicum or hoho can have so much going for it and so much information? But thank you for taking the time to talk to us.
Thank you.
And of course, for our viewer out there, those who've been wondering how to get into that space where you, of course, want to become a farmer of capsicum, now you have it. We'll touch base with our guest later on in the future, of course, to sample some of the comments that will have come in on this show to see how you have been doing so. So look out for that, and of course, send in your comments. But from now, for us, it is Kwaheri ya Kuonana. My name is Peter Wakaba. To continue to enjoy the rest of your viewing. Thank you.
Kuwa mkono ambao unalima ardhi, mlango wa kulima, kuwa mshindi, kuwa na uhakika sasa, kulea mustakabali wa baadaye. Tufanye kazi pamoja na tukue pamoja, kuimarisha Kenya ni jukumu la Farm Kenya.
Farm Kenya, brought to you by Fugo.